Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Making an Impact with Zebu Nation. And today we have for you the mid-season review for Season 22 of Major League Soccer. We're going to do things a little bit different this time. Not going to get straight into all the stats and standings and all that stuff because we have some team news to talk about. It's not big news, but it's a little bit of news. First off, we have a new signing. You might be saying, what new signing? But it's just a scout. Edgar Castillo, 35-year-old American, brought him in. Our general manager came to us, sent an email, and just said, hey, we got a spot open for another scout. Why don't you sign this guy? So I said, all right, sure. Why not? 13 adaptability, 12 judging, and 12... whatever the other thing is, 12 potential judging. So, he's not great, but as far as American scouts go, he's actually pretty decent. He's got good knowledge in the USA, so, why not add him to the roster? Just a little bit more scouting power on the bench. We've been sending out scouts all over the world, scouting a bunch of players over in Europe and other places, so scouts are a little thin right now, and it just helps bolster that. Then we got an interesting email here. Leading development clubs for Major League Soccer. According to Goal.com, the Impact have produced the most players currently playing in MLS. They're responsible for the development of 9 players at top-flight clubs. The numbers are based on a recent study where development backgrounds of players were detailed. Blah, blah, blah. Players, they spent more than 3 years or more at the club in question between the ages of 15 and 21. So next, of course, is FC Dallas and then Vancouver, followed by New York, LA Galaxy, Colorado, FC Dallas again, Real SoCal. NAL West Division team. So they must have a lot of players come through the MLS draft. But anyway, we're looking pretty good. So that's good news. This new signee, we're one of the top developmental clubs in the nation. A little bit of scary news. Corinthians keep coming in for Thiago. 25-year-old. They've boosted it up to $2 million. I don't know that Thiago has a release clause. Let me take a look. Minimum fee release clause of 4.1. That is reachable by Mexican squads. They definitely have the financing to be able to do that if they want to. They don't really like to spend a lot of money on transfers if they don't have to, but if they become desperate to come in for Thiago. So we might need that new scout and our general manager to go out there and find us a new goalkeeper. But for now, we're holding on to Thiago with tooth and nail. And then finally, we had a little bit of a dynamics issue. It's not listed, though, so it's not an issue anymore, apparently. Is everybody good? Is everybody happy? Happy? Yeah, I guess not. Anyway, our new striker, Target Man, came in and said, what's the deal? Boyce, designated player. He came in and said, he wants to start. Obviously, he's a designated player, and we were going to play him more. Just a couple of episodes ago, we said, all right, we're going to bring him in off the bench and all that stuff, or maybe start him. But we switched formations, and we had the Canadian Championship in there, so I don't know exactly what we're going to do with Boyce. I was able to satisfy his questions at the time to say, just be patient and whatever, and he was fine with that. So that's why he wasn't on the dynamics list there, but it still could be an issue going forward. So we got to figure out, maybe we're going to go back to formation number 2. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But for now, we're looking okay. So that's it for club news. And now we got a game to play. So let's get to our play. This will be our 17th game. So that'll get us to mid-season, and then we can talk about all the mid-season stuff. So we got to actually decide what we're going to do here, because we got an issue. Lopez is out on international duty. So we got to get rid of Lopez, take him off the position there. And then, of course, we got Agor. Bring in Agor, no problem. Can Agor play Segundo? You know, he's sort of same knowledge either way in terms of playing this or that. Now, if we do go to formation number 2, it might be better to have Andre there as the box-to-box, because Andre's a better box-to-box midfielder. But as far as Segundo Volante goes, Andre is superior there, so might as well keep him there. You know, Shamit Shom has been playing well. Don't know why we would take him out other than to bring in Boyce. You know, we could go formation number 2, bring in Boyce, but I don't want to break a good thing. So, you know, we've placated Boyce for now, so we'll leave him on the bench mid-season. Maybe we'll trade him, just get rid of him and say he was an experiment that we didn't necessarily need. Because right now we're going to bring Dabo up off the bench here. Or put him on the bench, rather. And there we go. So let's start things off. Let's go. Hand over to the assistant coach. We're going to stick with the Z formation. It's been pretty good here. Sporting KC has dropped to 3rd place. You know, they were just 1st place. Now they've dropped to 4th place. I don't know what's going on over there in the Western Conference, but stuff is happening. Maybe some other teams are catching up in terms of number of games. Maybe Sporting KC isn't quite as good as we thought they were. We can take a look at them. Giasante has improved. That's good. Aiden Millar, waived by FC Dallas. Do we want to pick up this guy? 21-year-old Canadian goalkeeper. Not really. Valued at $8K. Got him 81% scouted. He has a fairly realistic outlook on things, so that's good, I guess. No real potential. He's got 2 dark stars, which I don't trust the dark stars really at all. Those are sort of, you know, maybe they might pop up later in his career, like when he's like 24, 25, 26, somewhere around there. He might be able to reach that ability, but in terms of just youth development, he's not going to. So we'll pass on that waiver opportunity, even though he is a Canadian player. We can't just pick up every Canadian in the world, even though sometimes it seems like we do that. Speaking of Canadians, here's some of our developmental players. Ortiz, Mendy, and Brun. They're all on the Canadian senior squad. They did not do so well this off-season here. Senior squad. Lost 4-0 to Switzerland, 3-0 to Norway. So maybe it's not a good thing that we have so many of our players on this team. Chevalier, Jaguar, Bernstengel. So 3 of our players starting on defense. And then there's Petrasso, Piet, Benzaza. Vasquez started in 6.4 rating. Not so good. So yeah, even though our players are on Team Canada is not doing very well. Team USA, though, is in the World Cup, but we're not worried about that too much, other than the reason we had to sub out Lopez was because he was on Team USA. So maybe we could look at that. After all, where did he go? There he is, Eric Lopez on international duty. Peter Vermees is the coach. World Cup Group B going up against Brazil in, looks like China, Jiangxi Olympic Sports Center. Senior squad. Bros, Cantu, Kick, Pierre, Lopez, Jonathan Gonzalez, Pulisic, Weston McKinney, Cameron Carter-Vickers. There's Kellen Acosta, Matt Miazga. So they got a lot of familiar names on there. Horvath, Julian Green, Zach Steffen, Villalba, John Brooks, Bobby Woods. Yeah. Bill Hamid is still hanging on there. Michael Bradley's still hanging in there. Let's see how they've done so far. They haven't really started yet. So Lopez is going to be out for quite a while. He's going to be out until the 21st of June. It's only currently the 5th, so he's got another few weeks. We're going to be without Lopez. So we'll have to see how we get along without him. So on the bench, we got Johnson, Cervantes, Petrasso, Dabo, Basic, Vallo, and Giasante. Okay, submit that team. Let's go. Hopefully we can finish this off with a win and then go into mid-season in fine form. So it's basically the same starting lineup. You saw the one change, which is a Gore in the midfield. Everybody else has been the same for the last couple of games. Sorry about that. I had to hit the panic pause button there because I had a massive sneeze going on. So there we go. Meanwhile, Sporting KC, Gabriel in goal. Madranda on the left-hand side. Amoku making his debut at right back, 18 years old. Coming from the SKC Academy. So a call-up for their academy player. Not looking so hot. I think we need to take advantage of this. 8 tackling, 9 marking, 7 heading, only 7 jumping reach, only 8 strength. We need to find a way to get some pressure on this young man. Maybe we do switch to formation number 2 at one point to bring in our target man and put him in there against this young fella. Let's see, what else do they got going on? Espinoza, Henriquez, Garcia in the midfield. It looks like another 21-year-old homegrown player. Another SKC Academy player. Has been playing 5 years, 2 years at the Academy, 3 years at SKC. He's got some good playing time. So, SKC is starting to use their academy, starting to develop some players. Fernandez on the left wing is their leading assist man. 7 assists in 12 starts. 7.21 rating, looking pretty good. Kiri Shelton up top. Yeah, Kiri Shelton, top goal scorer. This guy is sneaky. You look at his stats, and he's like a defensive forward. So you don't think he's going to score. But I've played with him on a couple of different saves. He starts out the game, I think, with NYCFC. That's why he's wearing the powder blue shirt there. But he's just a sneaky dude. You look at him, and you're not sure what he's all about. Being a defensive forward, not great finishing and all that, but he manages to sneak in and score goals. So you got to watch out for him. Then Crozet on the far side, the right-hand side, 30-year-old Frenchman. Played at Sporting KC for many seasons here, 6 seasons. Came over from Belgium for $1 million. So he's a veteran of MLS by now. So there you go. Dressing room, assistants. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, Wilfred, what do you got for us? The same advice as ever. Close down. Ooh, Fernandez is a bit banged up. So we'll definitely close down on him. Crozet working on a red card there. Do we close down on the new young fella? I wouldn't think he would come forward, but he might. I mean, he's not really a defensive guy, so maybe they'll send him forward. Same thing with Madranda. Madranda's a pretty good player, but also only 4 jumping reach. Wow. There could have some defensive problems there on the back line if we send the ball high. So hopefully we can do that. Here we go. Is this? Yeah, this is our stadium. I was trying to figure out, is this Sporting KC or is this us? This is Saputo Stadium. Sporting KC in sort of the white and light blue. Very, very light blue. And then we, of course, in our traditional uniforms. Again, we're going with the lesser highlights here, so we might not get a lot. Fernandez already down to 83%. He's going to have to get subbed out at some point in the match. Chevalier, probably should have subbed him out. He just came back from Canada duty. I kind of forgot about that, but he's down to 87% as well, or already, I should say. Here's Duverne with the throw-in. Far side, gets it to Shamit Shom. Centers to Alberto, can't win the header. Agor, Andre takes the banger from 30 yards. Look at that. The Segundo finally doing what he's supposed to be doing. Just taking those long shots and making them. Bit of a hitch in the match engine when he shot that, so I didn't see the full shot. Here we go. Agor heads it to him and then bang. Oh, it looks like it took a deflection there. But at any rate, another early goal. Another early lead for the Impact. It's 3 games in a row now we've done that. 4, I guess, if you count the last Canadian Championship game. So I don't mind these early goals, and the formation, the Z formation, I should say, has been paying off, been paying dividends. See if Sporting KC can come back. They do have the possession right now, 56%, but no shots on target, so our defense is holding. Meanwhile, we've got 5 shots on target already. 8 shots overall. So we're dominating the quality of shots, but they're dominating quantity of possession, I guess. I'd rather have more shots on target than more possession. Try to put more crosses, considering we're superior in the air. I can definitely agree with that. We'll make that choice, make that change. Halftime looming here. 1 minute of stoppage time, just about up. So it's very odd, very strange that they've been able to retain possession. They must be just passing the ball amongst these midfielders, and we're not really pressuring them, but we don't have to. We got the 1-goal lead. So let's just go to the dressing room and say, keep it up. All right, everybody's delighted with that. Let's go. I don't want to say, like, control possession or anything like that, just because, who knows, it might allow Sporting to give us the counterattack. We don't want that. Here's D'Alessandro taking it out wide. Sends one in. No, Birnbaum heads it out. Crozet, yeah. Nothing going on for Sporting right now. Fernandez being injured might take a little bit off of his offensive game. He's still got some nice pace at 31 years old. 16 acceleration, 15 pace. Flair, very good. Dribbling pretty good. He's still pretty good, but a little bit injured. And there he goes. He is out. Garza comes in for him now. 17-year-old, another academy prospect. What is up with Sporting? They are just bringing in all the academy players. This kid's a good passer. 16 passing, 13 vision, 15 determination, 16 work rate. Physicals aren't that great, but they're passable, I suppose. But yeah, he's a very decent prospect at 17 years old. So I'm always proud of these teams when they start using their academy and bringing up some of the youngsters. Maybe they're being forced into it due to injuries or who knows what. Salary cap restrictions. 3 substitutes made already. Oh, Chevalier needs a sub. Our only choice is Basic. So we'll move Jaguar to the right. Bring Basic in on the left-hand side. Get him a little playing time. Shamit Shom as well. I mean, we are only 1 goal up. D'Alessandro not playing very well. I think we'll bring in Petrasso for D'Alessandro. And then we'll wait and see. Like, if we're just dominating the match, then we'll stick with it. We'll maybe substitute in Cervantes for Shamit Shom. But if they score a goal, we might switch to formation number 2 and bring in Matt Johnson. Try and get the winning goal. So there we go. We made our 2 substitutes. Let Shamit Shom sort of get tired out there. Oh, they're down to 10 men. No, they're not. They've still got a full lineup here. So they made that final substitute to Crozet. but they're still okay. They've gone to a 4-2-4. Here's Alberto. Drops it back. Shamit show him 5 minutes of extra time. Amoku heads it out, but Agor gets it to Andre with his second shot and his second goal. Look at that. The midfielder, the defensive midfielder, going on a scoring rampage. There we go. Shamit Shom sort of sends one into nobody. Agor, nice little pass, and then Andre all alone just turns and fires. Scoring and shooting and stuff like that, not really his forte, but he is getting better at it. Look at that. He's finishing up to 11. Long shots up to 12, so he's getting better every day. Bernstingle sends one in, gets it back, centers to Agor. Agor looking to make a play. Nope, drops it back to Shamit. Petrasso. Alberto, wide open goal off the crossbar. 30 seconds left in the game. Jaguar just bombs it downfield, trying to waste time. Cristiano in the game. Madranda. Nope. This is definitely going to be it. Another fairly easy victory against a team we thought was going to be top of the Western Conference, but maybe not. Maybe that was just sort of fool's gold. There it is. Maybe? Or is that an offside? I think that was an offside. So one last kick. Let's get out of here. Come on. Blow the whistle, ref. Agor. Shamit. Let's go. Gets it out wide to Petrasso. Down the sideline. He's fouled. All this extra time. We're 30 seconds past already. 45. One last free kick. Petrasso drops it back. Shamit with the shot. Pinballs around. Cleared out. And there it is. Full time. Excellent win, boys. Excellent win. 2-0. Get to the dressing room. Let's see. Player of the match is, of course, Andre. 9.3 rating. 2 goals. Outstanding game for Andre. Valenzuela, not so much. I mean, he got a little better in the second half. Didn't play so well in the first half. Pep talk, well done. Well done. All right. So there we go. Lopez is still going to be on international duty, as I mentioned. Quality of possession, really? I thought they had the possession. Anyway, I think it was just quality of Andre that got us the victory there. There we go. Classy Andre. Stellar for impact. Praise Andre's performance. Superb in front of goal. I mean, 2 goals for a midfielder. He's got to be happy with that. Yeah. All right. Exceptional. Exceptional. 9.3 rating. 5 headers, 1. He just, I don't know what happened with Andre, but he just went out of his mind this game. So, outstanding game. Outstanding game. All right. So, now let's look at the competitions. So there we are. 17 games played, 13 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, total of 41 points on the season, plus 21 goal differential. So we're killing teams. That puts us first in the Eastern Conference and first in the Supporters Shield by 6 points over Vancouver. So the Canadian teams have started to dominate the league here, other than Toronto, who is like last in the league. So apparently you're either first or last. Look at that. 23rd in the league, only 7 points on the entire season. I think their coach might not be long for this league. That is really bad for Toronto. They need to overhaul that roster. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but they got so much old money sitting on that roster, with Giovinco still hanging around and Josie Altidore still hanging around. I mean, they were great players, but they're super old now, so you got to get rid of them, start that roster over, rebuild like Vancouver has done, and even Sporting KC with all those young academy players sitting there in 5th place in the Supporters Shield. There's a lot of Western Conference teams, man. New England has dropped to 7th. Atlanta in 10th, but in the top 10, only 3 Eastern Conference teams. Everybody else, Western Conference, by a large margin. So there we go. Let's take a look at, how about some team stats? Why don't we do that? Of course, most goals, Montreal. We've just jumped ahead of Seattle with that last victory. We've got one more game than them, one more goal than they do. 37 goals on the season. Pretty good. Even better than last season. Headers completed, we're 6th, 60%. San Jose up top. Average possession, we are not on this list because we spent the first half of the season, first half of the first quarter, if that makes any sense. The first eighth, is that right? Yeah, sure. Why not? We spent that in formation number 2, so we're not going to get a lot of possession out of that. Vancouver, though, they have possessed their way to the top of the chart here. First place, 56.59% possession. Most tackles won, we're in 5th place there. 312 tackles on the season. 78% of our tackles won. That's pretty good. Just 2% behind the leader, Colorado. Colorado still showing that good defense. Seems like their offense may have dropped off a little bit this season. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. They were first in the league by a wide margin last year. Now they're not even in the top 8. So they must have lost some players. Let's take a look at Colorado's registration real quick. Now let's take a look at their senior squad. Who do they still have and who do they not have? Garcia still on the list. Keane still there. So it was just a magical season last year for those two guys, and now they are not quite doing so hot. We'll take a look at them maybe in the individual stats in a minute. Least concessions were tied for 3rd with FC Dallas. Only 16 goals in 17 matches. Sporting KC's only allowed 13 goals, but we just put 2 on them. So that's pretty good. So they had a good defense, but we broke through it pretty well there. Colorado's defense still holding around at 5th place. NYC and Atlanta are the only other Eastern Conference teams on the list. How about goals? I didn't look at that in terms of goals. New England is the only other Eastern Conference team on the list in terms of goals scored. So Eastern Conference not that great this year. Most shutouts, Sporting KC number 1 with 11 shutouts. That's really good. We're 2nd, tied with Houston with 8 shutouts on the season. Pretty good. Fouls, Houston up there number 1 in fouls. Sporting KC 5th. Yeah. Most passes completed. Vancouver again using that possession style. Place them number 1 at 81%. Most crosses, 5th. It's pretty interesting that we're putting in some nice crosses there. 14% of our crosses, still pretty low. I'd like to be more. I'd like to be at least 15% in terms of crosses. But what are you gonna do? And then hitting the target, 8th. I'd like that to be higher, but we're getting such a high volume of shots. Maybe just mass quantity. The shotgun approach, I guess, can work as well as being snipers. But there's Vancouver being very, very efficient this season. Possession, passing, shots on target. That's why they're so good this season. They are being very, very efficient. Okay, so there we go with all of the team stats. Now maybe we can go and take a quick look at player stats. Yeah. Estupiñán for Seattle, number 1 in the league in goals, 13 goals, tied with Junior Marias of Vancouver, of course. We have no one on the list, so we're scoring goals as a unit. There's Will Keane for Colorado still up there, but Garcia, after that magical season, nowhere to be found. Christian Ramirez still up there. Most assists, Alberto, look at that, having a good season this year. 7 assists, 20-year-old Brazilian. He came to us also earlier, just a couple of days ago, and said, hey, I want to move to some big French team, but they haven't sent in any bids for him, so we're like, just chill out or whatever. So we still might lose Alberto this season, but so far there haven't been any bids for him. We'll see. Most distance run. Look at that. 3 guys on the list. Our two wingers and our box-to-box midfielder have just been cruising all around the nation. Yeah, we do expect people to run a lot in our formations. Key tackles. Nobody on the list for key tackles. Aaron Long, number 1 for San Jose. 31 key tackles. That's exciting, I guess. Least concessions. Thiago, 3rd place. 16 goals allowed in 17 games. He's played every game for us in goal. Bingham, again, having an excellent season for FC Dallas. Only 12 goals allowed. Zendejas. I've seen a lot of people who play, take an MLS save, and they sign this guy, and they don't know how to pronounce his name. It is Zendejas. There's some famous National Football League kickers with the name Zendejas. So that's how I know how to pronounce that name. Let's see. Anybody else of interest up here? Colorado's goalkeeper. Fei Lund playing well. Dida. Jesse Gonzalez. National team goalkeeper. 21 goals allowed. Okay. Most shutouts. Zendejas for Houston. Most shutouts with 8. So FC Dallas must be doing their shutouts by committee. Thiago tied with 8. So there we go. Guess you can say Thiago is leading the league in shutouts. Very good, very good. Sporting KC has 2 guys on the list, so they're doing theirs also by committee. Most tackles per match. Andrew Farrell, 30 years old, 7.44 tackles per match for LAFC. We don't have anybody on the list. LA Galaxy has 2 guys on there, Rosenberry and Skelvik. Yeah, those are a couple of good defenders. Some names I recognize anyway. Dribbles per match, who cares? Villalba, number 1. Good for him. Moreno's on the list. So Atlanta United's got 2 guys on the list. That's fine. Key passes, Ladero still playing well for Seattle. 35 key passes. Alberto tied for 3rd with Garcia and Rowe. So Garcia maybe they're playing him at the wing a little more this season. I don't know. His passing has improved. Unfortunately, his goal scoring has not. And then finally, best at hitting the target, Giazzi Zardes. There's a bit of a surprise. He's not a great scoring striker. Only 12 finishing, only 10 composure. But apparently, when he gets a shot, it gets on target. Adi is still up there. Rios, Marias from Vancouver. We don't have any single player on the list. So again, we're just doing it as a team. So there we go. There's the stats. Well, we can look at our squad stats maybe. I was looking at our physicals. I was trying to compare some developmental progress, but it's very difficult to do it when you don't really pay attention very, very closely, which I've noticed I haven't done. I sort of do development just by intuition, I guess. But anyway, don't have to worry about that. Appearances, most appearances, of course, Thiago played in every goal, or every game. Jaguar, every game but 1. Everybody else has 13 or less. Lopez, Andre, D'Alessandro. Goal scorers, D'Alessandro and Kyle Larin tied with 7. Valenzuela catching up quickly with 6 goals. Johnson with 4. Boyce with 3. Andre, those 2 goals jumped him ahead of a lot of other players with 1 goal. Assists-wise, there's Alberto with 7. Not a ton of assists this season, or at least not a lot of high concentration of assists. Lopez with 4. Agor with 4. Valenzuela with 3. That's interesting. And then a bunch of guys with 2. A bunch of guys with 1. Whole bunch of guys with 1. It's like everybody on the team has at least 1 assist. Who doesn't have an assist? Desovic, what are you doing, buddy? Johnson, no assist. Bosic. Need to get those guys some assists. Chances created. Alberto, of course, 10 chances. Lopez, Valenzuela, a lot of the guys you'd expect. D'Alessandro, 7 chances created, 7 goals. That's efficiency right there. Players of the match, 3 for D'Alessandro. Passing percentage, Benzaza, you'd expect that because he's got that 18 passing ability. We're going to have to bring that young fella up into the lineup at some point, even though he's really only a 2-star player. he's got that single unique skill that we might be able to use in the future. Cervantes hasn't played much. Shamit Shom hasn't played much, but there are highest passers, highest regular team passers, Andre and Agor. So that's good to see those guys in there. Tackling, Dasovic going crazy this year, 6.44. Bosic, Bernstingle, Valo, fullbacks, Duvern. So all of our fullbacks are tackling machines. Again with the cough button, going crazy here. Yeah, so our fullbacks tackling like crazy. Shot percentage, Duvern, 100% of his shots on target. 1 goal, 1 assist. He is Mr. Efficiency. Other than that, D'Alessandro, look at that, 79% of his shots on target. Again, 7 chances created, 7 goals. So again, efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. Kyle Larin, highest rated player. Leonard, 2 appearances, 7.65 rating. We should probably get him in the game more. And if we start losing some of our wingers to either injury or the transfer market, I've got a lot of faith in these 2 young wingers that we drafted this season. So I think we can just plug them in and not worry about going out to the transfer market and getting more and more wingers. Petrasso also still there, 7.58 rating. Alberto, Johnson, D'Alessandro. Lots of the familiar guys. All right, so there is our report. We can go down the checklist real quick, I guess. Academy, no changes in the academy. It's still not great. A couple of guys that are decent. Finances, still fine and dandy. Board, there was something I wanted to do with the board. I wanted to make a request about my contract because I have had several teams now coming in and asking for interviews. Even Tigres from the Mexican League have come in. So we're going to talk about a new contract maybe. I would like a new contract. I'm sure you're aware there's been some interest in my services from other clubs. Oh, come on. I mean, I don't want to say any of this stuff, so I'll just say I understand. I haven't gone to any interviews, and that's probably why that they're saying this. If I'd gone to one of those interviews, they might be more likely to re-sign me, but whatever. It's fine. I mean, I don't want to leave, so I'm not going to make a big deal about it. But anyway, our job security, very secure, 69%. We got our new stadium. I don't know if there's any other requests we want to make. We could always use improved data analysis. Like to improve our data analysis. We agree. Okay, that's good. Anything else? Decrease the junior budget. Expand the ground. We've already expanded the ground. Personal. Staff. Don't think we need any staff. Improve the training facilities. Why not? Improve the training facilities to help us reach our potential. Improving the facilities would encourage the agreed philosophy of developing players. Therefore, we approve the request. All right, good. So we got 2 board requests approved. Data analysis and trading. Always good to keep improving that stuff. Transfers. Not a lot has gone on. As you can see, Thiago Corinthians came in for them. We got our two guys coming in at mid-season, which we do not particularly need. Might not even have room for them on the roster, so we're going to have to figure some stuff out there. Scouting, we got that new scout. We'll continue to look all over the world for people. Medical center, not much going on there. Montero injured. Kyle Larin still injured. Dasovic back. As you saw the last episode, I think. You saw us bring him back from the disabled list. So yeah, dynamics are fine and dandy, very good, excellent, very good. We got a couple of guys with some concerns, but nothing huge. Excuse me, voice is breaking up. Probably tells me that means it's time to go. So I don't. $4.8 million we're going to be spending on the training facility. So that's a pretty good upgrade. It's a sizable upgrade. All right. So that's going to do it for now. We'll come back looking at the schedule. I mean, how many of these games do we really want to play? I don't know. We got a West Coast swing coming up. I guess we'll come back for New England. You know, that's an important game. I don't think we need to watch us kill Toronto again. We played Toronto 3 times this season. It's one of the quirks of the MLS schedule. You know, you play each team in your conference twice, play each team in the other conference once, and then you play a couple of other teams a couple of other times. So Toronto is our team that we're playing 3 times this season. They're the worst team in the league. So that's going to get us some extra points this season. Looks like we also play New England 3 times this year. So that sort of balances it out, I guess. New England's our biggest rival in terms of the top of the standings this year. And Toronto's our biggest rival in terms of geography. So we play both of them 3 times this season. That's very interesting. So maybe we'll take a look at LA and New England. Come back for those 2 games. No need to watch us crush Toronto. So yeah, that sounds good. All right. So until then, we'll come back later. See you later. Whatever. I messed it up. Goodbye.